All right, we have to start over again, so are we okay with that?
Yep.
Or do we need to?
You are not legally required to produce this
Well,
separate
that's true.
recording.
That's true.
And so what I'll say is I think you can say that we didn't realize that the video wasn't running the first 5 minutes. We have approved the meeting minutes, and we have not received any comment from the public because no members of the public are in attendance, and then move on to item 3, but however you prefer.
Okay, I just want to say the date and the time so that everybody knows when it is. So, all right, so we're in attendance at a meeting of the River Plantation Municipal Utility District Board of Directors on Monday, November 20th at 6:30 p.m. The video was not going during the first 5 minutes. During the first 5 minutes of the meeting, we approved the minutes of the meeting of last month's, and we received comments from the public, of which there is no public in attendance, so therefore there were no comments from the public. So, okay. All right. Number 3 on the agenda, financial and bookkeeping matters, including the bookkeeper's report. Any questions, comments? I will tell you, just so we have it, Carl asked a question last month about why a number was on the report that didn't tie to anything else. I did reach out to municipal accounts, and in finding out, it found out that there is that we're only getting 1 balance sheet instead of 3 balance sheets that they're producing. We're only getting 1, and the numbers from the 3 of them added together to give us that number. So, and I found that out because I was questioning not only Carl's question, but the fact that East Plantation again shows they owe us almost $78,000. But but on the balance sheet it shows they owe us $400. And I was like, well, where's the other $78,000 reported at? Well, it's on the other 2 balance sheets that we're not getting. So, anyway.
That's why it's confusing.
So, yeah, exactly. So,
One reason.
I think we need to condense it. I know you're looking at some alternatives, but we need to condense that.
they're not gonna make any changes, because that's what they get to charge us the money for. That's their software that they wrote.
I thought they worked for us.
Well, call them. Tim and I have been on that call how many times, and I met with them in person in Corpus Christi, and Tim and I met with both of them.
The problem is they give you so much stuff, it's hard to really read through the thing and make any sense. It just.
By all means, if you can convince them, call them. Go ahead.
I'd rather change if they won't do what we want.
Yeah, that's what I've been working
That's
on.
the plan.
That's the plan. So I do have, probably shouldn't talk about it here, probably should talk about pending business, but I do have a company coming to the meeting in December to discuss. They're gonna send me some proposals between now and that meeting, and then they're gonna come in December and kind of discuss it with us and see how good they are. And Taylor's been working with them on a bunch of projects, a bunch of MUDs, right? So, anyway, so we'll see what they come up with.
Sounds good.
So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Bookkeeper's report.
Okay,
Back to the bookkeeper's report.
The only question I have on it, I'm trying to do more due diligence and
Okay.
read all through this, and I see that we don't have a bill from Paul this month. I know we do from Smith Murdaugh, but
Yeah.
I didn't see one. Is
Did
that,
you do
is that a
anything for us
mistake, or-
last month?
I did, but I didn't get
You didn't
a
get in on
chance to send
time?
out the bills.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's no problem.
I just wondered if that
I'll
was
do
because
next
there was no litigation.
Just forget it.
Yeah.
Just have a good
There's not a whole
Thanksgiving.
lot. The good news is there's not a whole lot going on.
We must have had a lot
But I
of
know, I have a
repairs.
small bill.
Okay.
We must have had a lot of repairs. I saw MOC's numbers were way up there.
Had several. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we had several repairs there too. So,
So that was the only
okay.
question. I thought, well, I wonder why Paul didn't get us a bill.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions
That's all
on the
I have.
bookkeeper's report? No? All right. Do I have a motion? Well, let's do, do I have a motion to accept the bookkeeper's report?
I make a motion, we accept the bookkeeper's report.
Okay, do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Tax assessor collector's report. Does this, I don't know if the packet had, Davis, I don't know, remember we talked about how I came up with that number for the budget and it was pretty close? Well, then I got one last week that it was not close at all. But then they sent out a new thing today saying, oh, sorry, we sent you the wrong numbers. So I don't know which one is in here because I didn't get a chance to look at the one today. So, and I don't really know what the.
Okay. I don't know that I've seen that.
Okay.
So if you have,
The one they sent
if you'd like
today?
to share that.
The one they sent today?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right, the one that says that numbers are wrong.
Okay.
We were working off of the certified values,
Right,
that they sent. So, the way that the report comes in from, Montgomery County is a little, confusing, but I will tell you that it is pages, let me see if I can get it to show me a page number. It is in your packet right behind the bookkeeper's report.
yeah.
It's at page 37.
Yeah. I'll have to look at it, but I'll send it to you also so you have it. I don't know. I hadn't had a chance to look at it to see what the difference was or whatever, so, but we did start collecting a little bit of taxes. So, not much, but those are all late ones, yeah. Probably late for last year, so.
Right, and you only have, I will tell you, about $32,000 due from your 2022 levy,
That's
right?
not
So
bad.
you're in great shape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, good. Okay, any questions on the tax assessor collector's report?
No.
Okay. Have a motion to accept that? Hmm?
You were supposed to say.
I make a motion that we accept the tax assessor collector's report.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Review the investments, of course, again, we're making a little money on the interest, so Taylor can spend some money, so. Yeah, and I did, going back to the thing, I don't know who signed me up for the AWBD Winter Conference, but apparently they paid my registration. And last month it said, no, I wasn't going because I'm not going.
Yeah, I
Right.
noticed that.
And so I sent her an email saying, you need to cancel that so we can get our money back because I'm not even gonna be here. So, I need to just remember that so we can make a note, so we
Yeah,
see that coming back in. So,
yeah, I think
Anyway.
you gotta do that at least 30 days in advance.
yeah, that's why I sent it to her the other day, so hopefully,
That's in January, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, we're earning 5.58% interest, and that's, where are you gonna get that?
That's real good.
Yeah.
Is that only municipalities that can use that?
Texas pool, no, because fire departments can do it, and, but I think it has to be governmental entities.
I was curious.
Yeah.
I wanted something.
Oh. I think it's state agencies,
Yeah.
governmental entities, because, yeah, so,
That's what I was wondering.
yeah, there you go, so. All right, any questions on the investments?
Nope. I make a motion that we accept the review of the investments.
Okay, I have a second from Tom, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, payment of the district's bills. Any questions on the bills? Now that we've signed all the
Do we
checks.
have, just for grants, do we have that second check for all seasons?
I don't know.
The reason I ask is
I think
they've
there's
been
one in
hounding me.
I don't know, here.
I think there's one in
I
there.
really think they combined it into one,
Well,
They
they
come
combined
out of
two
different
of them.
but it's
accounts.
13,000,
That was for 2
2
months.
months, right?
And then they sent me another check, another bill last week.
Was there two on the list?
And
I
I
know
thought,
there's at least two on the list, but I
What
don't
was the
know.
other one for, the ditch?
no, it was for another month.
I know there were two,
Because
yeah.
this is for August, September,
Is that 13,000?
October.
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah, I'll look at it in a second. So I
Okay.
know it's in here on the list of checks, so
Okay.
we'll look at it in a second.
Other than that, I don't have any problems with paying the bills.
Okay, do I have a motion to,
I make a motion to approve the payment of district bills.
do I have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, park maintenance matters.
Okay. I've got a bid from All Seasons to cut and maintain the ditch on the north side of RP Drive and the south side of RP Drive where the big utility easement area is. Just past, it's past Jubal Early.
You talking about Stonewall Jackson?
It's on,
Stonewall Jackson.
Or
I'm sorry, you're right, Stonewall
Oh,
Jackson.
okay, okay.
You're right, Stonewall Jackson.
Okay, and then the two places on Jubal Early.
The two places on Jubal Early should already be on the
Bid.
and if they're missing it, then I will get with them.
But
and-
none of that up there's been done, that's what I've been
Okay.
fussing about.
Yeah,
Okay, but we need to get this other area done.
You're talking about just in the easements, they're mowing the easements?
They're not gonna mow
No.
the easement.
cleaning the actual ditch.
Okay,
The actual
the ditch.
ditch,
Actually,
It's-
there's a east-west ditch that ties into the north-south ditch that crosses Stonewall Jackson and then connects to the concrete ditch.
okay,
No concrete on it, this is all,
The concrete
the
ditch
first
goes-
100 feet or so is concrete.
Concrete,
that has not been cleaned.
That's correct.
yeah.
And that's on the north side.
Yeah.
On the south side, there's no concrete, I don't believe. So I got a bid from them for first service, initial service to get it all cleaned up is $23.50. And then every 2-week service is $7.50.
I don't think it needs to every
Not
2
every
weeks.
2
does it?
No, I was gonna say
I
every
told him
quarter.
quarterly,
Yes.
Yeah.
Quarterly, I
but this
think
is
is
what they,
fine.
this is
Yeah,
what they,
aren't they doing the rest of the ditch quarterly?
I believe so.
That's the way it
Just
used
tell them to
be.
add it on there
It
and keep
used to be
going.
done when the east ditch was done.
Yeah,
It went. couldn't
How far are
go
they,
east ditch.
how far are they gonna take it up past Jubal Early?
they're gonna take it
Right,
up,
I mean, past,
there's a fence,
Stonewall.
there's a fence north of Stonewall Jackson.
are you talking about where the, I don't know what's there, what is it, a
Where you get
transformer or
past the
something?
tower.
Yeah, okay,
You get past the tower, there's a fence that goes east and west.
Oh, no, I was talking about, past Stonewall Jackson.
that's it, that's where he's talking.
And going south, they're gonna go to the barn,
Mm-hmm.
the fire station barn.
I'm sorry, we're talking two different things.
Oh.
I was
Okay.
talking the east ditch, concrete portion. You were talking about the north and south.
Correct.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So 2250?
That's not hard.
That's not bad at all.
No.
No, I thought that was a decent bid to get it all cleaned up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
I
then I
don't think
will-
it needs to be done that often.
no, I think.
I agree, and I told him it was quarterly. So I will get that changed and get a revised
Did,
bid, but $23.50 for the initial, I thought
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
fair.
I think that's good.
And then how much is it for the normal maintenance?
And they had on their monthly was 1,100,
we don't need monthly.
but we don't need monthly.
Yeah.
We don't need bi-weekly, we don't need
Well,
monthly.
1,100 sounds like a lot to me, but prices have gone so crazy.
I was gonna say, you can't base anything on what you used to do.
Logic doesn't play anything
Yeah.
So
anymore.
2350 and then quarterly, how much?
If
Don't
he
have a
doesn't it
quarterly
Oh,
number.
okay, okay,
I'll get one tomorrow.
okay. So do we have to vote on that, or are you gonna?
Why don't we just?
Why don't we vote on it, assuming, like, can we vote on it, assuming it comes in at a decent number for quarterly, to where it's not more, it can't be more than the
Can't be-
$23.50.
I agree, because
It
it's been,
shouldn't be more than 1,100 in my opinion.
Exactly, but,
Do you want to vote to just go ahead and approve the initial cleanup?
Yeah.
And then Tim can come back with the
Yeah, the
numbers.
quarter
for
makes sense.
regular-
that would be,
Yeah, that's
that
true.
makes a good sense.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
good.
Do I have a
So
motion
we
to,
don't need to get bids on this, but.
it's $2,300,
but it's under
2,300, right? Not
23.50.
the- Oh, $23.50, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I make a motion that we conditionally accept the bid from All Seasons Maintenance to do initial service on the ditch.
do I have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I just want one clarification. That's gonna be the entire thing, the two places on Jubal Early, And then the cross.
Jubal Early's already on the
So
contract,
if
they
they
should
don't
be
do
getting
any of
that.
that, then we can go back and say, hey, you missed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
As long as we're,
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
having too much trouble getting it done.
Alright, are you done? Or you got something
Uh,
else?
that's all I got for park maintenance, other than that, that's all I got for park maintenance.
Okay, I got a park maintenance. There are 4 trees on, Charleston, all in a little grouping they're behind 467 Old Hickory and 456 Lexington Court. So if they fall, and if they fall the right way,
The wrong way.
yeah, whichever, if you own the house or you don't own the house, if they fall the wrong way, we could be in trouble on this. And there are 3 dead pines and 1 oak. And then there's another dead branch that broke off the top of a tree. We must have had a storm come through or something. Broke off the top of a tree and it's just hanging there waiting to drop. But we've been watching it for a year, waiting for it to drop, and it's still not dropping. So I think we need to take it down.
These are liabilities.
Yeah. I got it, J&K gave me a quote of $4,400 for all of it. Clean up, haul it away, take out the 4 trees and the branch. And they're gonna have to climb some of those trees because they're so tall.
Sounds like a lot of money for 4 trees.
Well, just disposing of it has gotten a lot more expensive.
Can't burn them.
Yeah.
I think
You can do it
$1,000 a
like
tree is
Nurse
cheap.
Iskey does, advertise free firewood.
That guy.
Who are you gonna let drive on the park to pick up free firewood? Or are you gonna stand out there on the side of the road after you chop it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I mean, that's $1,000. Look,
it's $1,000 a tree.
and I don't think you can get it any cheaper than that. Usually like $1,200 or
Yeah,
so.
That's ridiculous too nowadays.
well, I know, but
Well, I move we can accept the bid and get it done so we just
Yeah, so that's all
avoid any
somebody.
liability.
yeah, okay.
I
Alright.
second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I'll get him on that.
Hey,
I think he
say-
said he could do it this week, I think, I hope. So, okay. Any other park maintenance?
No,
Is there any
Okay.
other, talk about the old restrooms or anything, are we going to?
Did you get us a bid on that?
I have one.
Okay, what you got?
Am I up?
Oh, no, but do you wanna
Okay.
do that, do you wanna do that now, or
Sure,
you wanna
we'll
wait
do
till
that.
you're up?
Whenever you want it ready.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
we'll
did
group
get,
it
I got
together.
a quote from one of our contractors, SOH Construction, they do a lot of demolishing, remodeling and stuff for us.
Okay.
That's the quote they came back with, and that's cutting, bringing it down, hauling it all off, and clearing all the brush around it.
Bids we had? How much was the other bid we had? We had 2.
well, we didn't have one for
Yours was just
demolition, ours
trim.
was
This
just
is
trimming.
demolition.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is
this
demolition.
is demolition,
Oh, this is
taking
oh.
it down to the slab and eliminating the whole thing.
Yeah, all the plumbing, electrical, all of that would be
Capped right off
properly
and everything.
kept off.
Capped off and eliminated. So it'd be just a slab of concrete sitting there, and then they will clear the brush and all.
So what if we just let the
So-
hoodlums demolish it?
Yeah.
And then we
Just leave it there.
Then we haul it off.
Because
Yeah.
they would throw
Yeah.
it, they would throw it
Well, I
out
thought
and the
we had-
mowers would hit it.
I thought the bid was to take down the brush was only like $4,000. Was
I
it
don't know.
It
$2,000?
was 3 something, and then he came down to 2 something.
So 2 something and now.
Yeah, but
And
the
now it's nine,
difference
so-
is you're taking down a building, you're capping off
Yeah.
plumbing, you're capping out electricity.
Those things
I mean, you're
like
doing a lot more
That is
stuff.
a
I
lot,
think
man.
that's, everything's too high in my mind anymore, and we're not taxable, by the way.
Is there electrical in there, actually?
Actually,
Yes,
there-
there is
There is?
electrical.
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah, 'cause
lights.
there's
Because there's lights in
There
the,
is a light in there? Okay.
There's plumbing, it's probably been capped off since because it's,
no, it probably had, well,
It's been
nothing's
broken.
working, I mean, it's.
well, the toilet was standing and working last time I was in there.
No,
No.
they,
No, I don't know,
Not
probably
anymore.
not, no, not anymore.
The
they've
toilet's broken
delivered-
and the sink is broken.
So,
Right.
is it been capped or is it just sitting there
It's
all
shut
broken?
off.
No, it's just sitting there broken.
Okay.
The valve is off, the water supply is off.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all broken.
Okay,
And we had 2 customers who were sitting there watching it, walking their dogs, and they're like, hopefully you guys get rid of this. So that's
okay,
what they're looking for, I guess.
okay.
Um, but I mean, it's totally up to you.
So what the other two bids you had were for just the brush?
Correct. One was,
I don't remember who that was. Was it All Seasons and,
They were
it
expensive.
was, it was All Seasons
In J&K.
and J&K.
okay.
And J&K was like 29, All Seasons was almost 4, and then All Seasons came back to 25, I
100?
think. Yeah,
And this is hauling off all the
And
debris,
this is-
clean up everything.
This is everything.
That's wiped it all
Demolition
clear.
too.
But it's doing the underbrush too, though.
Yeah.
I tell you,
Yeah.
you know, you make sure they know we are tax exempt.
It is,
There's no
There's
sales
no-
tax on
there's
it.
So I would
also-
make a motion that we
It
go
says
ahead and
included.
accept this bid. If-
Well, it says
But-
included, but up at
but
the top it just.
Do we have to
says-
get more bids because of the dollar
It's a-
amount?
It's
No.
the 94.75,
So
so.
if you took 94.75,
But
take away
10% off.
$3,000 for cleaning it, then they're really only
Say
charging
no.
$6,000.
right, they're charging
Yeah.
6,000 to take the building
Take the
away.
building down, and that's probably
Do
okay.
And
either one of the, all Seasons or J&K do demolition? Do you wanna go back to them and see if they,
I probably wouldn't wanna ask them
To do it?
because of their lack of experience.
Okay.
I know they do trees,
okay,
but that's a big difference than
okay,
cleaning,
Yeah, I don't think
demolishing
so. Okay.
a building.
okay.
And then capping off all the plumbing.
Right,
That's true.
right. We need
Okay.
to have a plumber.
That's the reason I think it might be reasonable, because we know it's gonna be done right.
Okay,
Right?
Absolutely.
what do we
Get
got?
rid of that.
What do we want?
One question on here, the item number 6 is underbrush to the left of existing restroom building to give clear view of restroom area from road. Then-
Can you get one from the road? With
Yeah,
all the
so-
trees around the gazebo?
So yes, so I had, so
Okay.
as you're pulling in, as we drove up on the right-hand side, you know, I
Yeah.
know we said we wanted to see it. So he went and quoted that too, so go ahead and get a clear view from
Okay.
the street and then
Why
clearing
do
all the
we-
brush
why do we
around
need
the
that
existing
anymore for
building.
demolition?
If we're demolishing, yeah,
There
Yeah,
won't
but
be
you
a
don't-
bathroom
it doesn't
there.
matter,
It's,
I mean-
you're leaving a bunch of underbrush kind
Yeah,
of
let's
sticking
just
out.
clean up the
We should
area.
Clean it all up,
yeah.
It'll make it safe for the people that are walking with their babies and,
because that
Strollers.
area sticks way out.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and they're cutting it back 3 feet, it says, so that'll be good.
Yeah, 3 feet around the building, okay. All right, what do we wanna do?
I already made a motion
What was your motion?
to accept it
I
Okay.
second.
with the,
Okay.
but noting that we don't pay tax.
Okay, all in, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, Carl, are you, did you say aye, or are you saying no, or are you?
Aye.
Okay, okay,
I'll call them tomorrow and then I'll give you an ETA.
cool, thank you, sir. Alright, operators report.
And that was Carl Nay, is that correct?
No,
just wanna
I
make
said
sure
aye.
I'm right.
No, he said aye.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, alright, operators report.
Meeting corrections next. All right, before you have the operators report for October, we have total connections of 977 with 12 vacancies. Revenues totaling at $107,410.16. That bill consumption, 10,000. 93, we had 10,923,000 gallons. Down below our water accountability at 96% for the month. We have 2 leaks that were repaired. One of them being the fire hydrant T on Robert E. Lee and,
I've seen that, wonder what that was.
it was the T coming off of the main to the fire hydrant had split. So we had that repiped and all put back together. The hydrant is operational. We had 6 bacteriological samples taken, all came back good. Our wastewater treatment plant results are below. Everything's running within parameters, no excursions to report. And we are currently operating at 53% of our permitted capacity. Total gallons of reuse, 3.1 mgs. And then down below we have our
Look at our
receivables
usage,
consumption.
40 to 50,000 or 50,000 or more.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting those water bills that are,
Yeah.
could be good, could be bad.
You're right. That's all I have for you, unless you have any questions for me.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
When you and your guys was out here doing the sprinklers for the whole front area out here, y'all fixed all the sprinklers. When you walk out this door right here in front is a leaking sprinkler.
There's a leak sprinkler. He's still working on that. I know he ordered controls, because you guys 2 months ago approved for the new controls and all that. I think he got it up and running, but I don't think he's done yet.
Yeah, this one wasn't leaking, I don't think, before, and now it's
Right.
leaking.
Yeah, some old leaky valves, but I'll get with Daniel and then
Okay.
I'll make sure it's done by the next meeting.
Okay, okay.
And I guess, remember that thing across the ditch over here on number 7, we put the orange fence up, said it's been down, that has not been
Again?
fixed.
Down again?
It was never fixed the second
No.
time.
We'll see if maybe there's a better way for us to have that fenced off, but yes, sir, I would look at, we'll get that taken care of.
Yeah, yesterday and the day before, the kids across the street, they have guests in for Thanksgiving, I guess, and they've been throwing balls and stuff.
In it?
They've been
Oh.
throwing balls into the neighbor's yard next door, who just has the slab there.
Yeah.
And so they were actually running down there where the orange net was supposed to be and trying to retrieve some baseballs, and I told them, don't go down there. So,
I'll get that fixed first thing tomorrow.
cause these little kids are
If you see any
about
kids in there,
7.
pull them out.
Pull them out while they're there.
Yeah, if you see feet or something sticking out, or, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know when we were putting it in, there were some guys hitting some golf balls, playing, and it literally went in that hole we were putting the fence in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So they, and the other thing is last time when they cleaned out the ditch, they took a lot of the silt and filled in some of the holes next to the ditch, which I think is great.
But now it's all washed away again?
No, it's still holding fine. That's why,
Cool.
next time they do the ditch, I don't know who approved that or how that happened, but if they can fill in these holes, that would be much better than this fence.
Yeah.
If they can do that.
Oh.
I got a pile of dirt.
Yeah,
You got a pile of dirt.
Yeah, we got a
One
pile
here.
of dirt, but you know what? Right behind that pile of dirt is a hole. Right by that new house that was built, there's orange fencing there too. That, I think there's a hole
Oh, that is,
there.
there is.
Behind the new fence, the new house.
That,
Yeah.
across from the CIA building, that house, there's
Yeah,
some orange.
there's
Oh, that one, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
of,
yeah. So part of it can go in there,
yeah,
if they wanna put it in there,
yeah, we'll take a look at that.
yeah, so, okay.
You could drop a truckload in my front yard too.
Well, it's about 8 foot tall,
I see it.
so, yeah, so, okay.
We'll get rid of it.
There was something else I was gonna say more, and I can't think what it was, but anyway, all right.
I did, Keith emailed me, the monthly, jobs completed, so we're continuing the valve survey. We fixed the 2 leaks, we made 2 5/8 water taps on Mesiliano and Spruce. Wastewater treatment plant, the water treatment plant number 3, we found a coolant leak on the generator that was repaired. And then we had some work done on the belt press to keep it up and running, so. That's all we had.
Good.
Okay. All right, motion to accept the operator's report. Are you done, Maria?
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion we accept the operator's report.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
That's your job.
Hey,
Aye.
Okay. Engineer's report.
Thank you.
Alrighty, first thing, permits, the wastewater discharge permit. We completed the second publication and sent the affidavit to TCQ, so we're just in those final steps before we receive the official permit for that, but everything's good. Nothing new to report on B, C, or D. Those are just future items that we're gonna keep on here to remind us. Moving to the design projects, the joint projects East Stitch FEMA work. So under review with FEMA, we continue to receive updates and it's progressing through their system. Julie, I think you've been CC'd on some of those emails, so we kind of sent them asking what the total process was, and it was a very lengthy email. I thought we were nearing the finish line. And there's a couple more federal government reviews, to say the least. East Stitch maintenance will continue to monitor, probably propose looking at doing a cleaning in February to kind of start the year off, since we just finished the one in October. The wastewater treatment plant rehab, that design's underway. Holly Springs drainage issue, we've been going back with East and forth with East Plantation. They did show us some dual culverts, but they were pretty good distance away. Didn't really relieve the models of the ponding near the house that's the issue, on Holly Springs. So we're continuing to go back and forth.
Is that the size of the pipe, or was that because of the lack of maintenance on the vegetation?
No, so the way those dual culverts come out, that section loops around and it's in the far right bottom corner where those dual culverts come out. Where they connect back to the system, in our model, we already showed that there was ponding in that area, and so the pipes just showed that it had a way to go. The problem is the pipes are still undersized downstream, so once the pipes get filled, water naturally is gonna seek a level playing field. So even though those pipes are there, it still relies on other parts of the system draining for it to drain itself.
So that's what I'm not going to, East Mud, you're saying this isn't gonna help?
No.
that's not
What I'm saying is that the existing conditions were a little different than what we thought they were. The existing conditions have a dual culvert, but it's a ways away from the Holly Springs house that's the issue. Our proposal was one for a easier fix, was to do a culvert from the front, or from the back to the front, which would alleviate some of his drainage issues because the ditch in the front flows a lot better than the ditch in the back, essentially. The long term was to upsize the piping to be able to convey the flow to its full extent.
And East Plantation doesn't want to do that.
East Plantation doesn't know what they want to do.
It's my understanding that East Plantation, at least one member of the board, has tabled it because they're afraid that if they go ahead and do the project, I'll call it the right way, then they would run out of funds for the rest of their area, rather than they want to just fix a small part of it for the couple of homes that are directly affected by this issue, rather than doing the whole thing the right way. That's my understanding.
Okay, well, I guess my only question is that that's their prerogative, I suppose.
Right.
However, do we get involved in any liability that they may be involved in if they don't fix it?
Not
That's a
they
good
don't-
question.
It's on their, well,
I mean,
If we
truthfully,
don't-
it's not our problem.
right. Well,
But do we?
part of it is, because part of it's a joint,
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, do we have any liability if we don't fix it with the bigger pipes?
well, I will tell you that I believe they're gonna have to do something, because they're getting pressure from homeowners now, and they're getting pressure from more homeowners. Every meeting, there's more homeowners there, and, I don't know that I want to say this
Especially
on
the
this.
ones that are directly affected.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to say it's on camera, but one lady gave a very compelling story last month and actually you could see the board members were like, oh. And I think she turned the tide on where they were going, but now they're waiting on their engineer to make a recommendation and.
Yeah, basically, like I said, it's not really our responsibility, but I want to make sure we don't have a liability because of it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, since we're paying for part of it,
Only on one option. The other
Right.
option, we're not paying any of it.
okay,
The other option is they're 100% on the line for it.
okay.
So, depends on how badly they want to.
Well, just keep us abreast then.
And that's what I continue to do. The
Yeah.
ball is completely in their court at this
Yeah.
point, on how they want to proceed, how their engineer wants to proceed. If he wants to look at it a completely different way, he's more than welcome to. Obviously, I told Julia this a little bit over the phone. You guys did this out of goodwill, trying to get something, started and seeing if you could help on your end. Obviously, you've identified that, things. You're also doing a drainage-wide district study that will also identify this as a trouble area. But they continue to ask us questions. We try to provide answers to the best of the ability with the limited scope that we originally did the work in, which was some minor modeling just to show the ponding in the area based off of existing information.
Okay.
And I would suggest that if you want more information, go to their meetings.
I just don't want more liability, that's all.
Go to their meetings,
It's
you'll
not
find
my
out what's
business
going
what
on.
they do.
That we're all running into the district projects, the district-wide drainage study. We are in the design phase. We've been putting a bunch of different rain scenarios on the models, just trying to identify all the problem areas and moving forward with putting together the report. Hopefully to have that early on in the next year. So, sanitary sewer rehab phase 2, that design is underway. Same with the sanitary sewer manhole rehab phase 1. Sanitary sewer phase 1 rehabilitation, that construction is actually substantially complete. We have pay application number 5 and final, $74,219.40 that we recommend payment. That project was complete about $120,000 under budget, which is awesome. We always try to have some contingencies in there, and everything went smoothly, so glad to see it. Charleston Park Irrigation contractor, I did talk to him again today. They did finally receive the replacement heads and are going to be mobilizing 11/27.
Is that for sure?
I will be.
This is like
He's gonna be.
I will be out here that day,
Okay.
so I will be sending pictures of them being here, or I will report that they were not here, and the phone call will take place.
Okay.
Storm sewer phase 1 rehab, contractors continue to work throughout the district. We will have a pay application for the December meeting. I went in a little detail on the progress report. If you look at the fourth page of my report, you'll see, oh no, I attached the wrong one. That's supposed to say November. I'll resend the November. Essentially, the main changes were to the storm sewer. They've completed the work through Charleston Park and up there on Marymount. They haven't done the restoration yet. So I'm going to talk with them tomorrow about the pile of dirt that we saw there today. My gut instinct says that they're waiting for some more stuff to wrap up, so they just put it all in one go and can use one truck. But we're also going to try to coordinate with it, see if we can fill in some holes and things like that. Moving on from there, the water plant number 2 electrical. That construction is underway. We do have pay application number 3 in the amount of $36,762.30 that we recommend payment. And then for the 10-year CIP, we'll work on updating everything with the completed project. My goal is the January meeting to have a fresh CIP plan for you guys, showing all the stuff that you've got completed, the money remaining for those projects, and then starting to forecast to the next series of bonds in late 2024, maybe early 2025. And then the last thing I have on there is just kind of from the last meeting, the fire department track. I have a meeting with them next Monday for kind of a layout of the future firehouse, seeing what all they need, turn radiuses and things like that, so that we can match the property with what they need.
Now, we're still talking about over behind between the CI and the clubhouse?
That's correct.
That's one of them.
That's one of the locations. We're gonna look at the whole thing. Obviously.
We also have some lots that we own.
They're not big enough.
They're not big
Those
enough.
lots aren't big enough for a fire department.
Yeah, I think when we talked, it's like an acre
They
and a
need
half, 2
two
acres.
and a half acres.
But
No
they're looking
problem.
at- Yeah,
Thought that might give us some other opportunities.
yeah, no, absolutely. So,
Is that
And I can tell you they don't want to
27
flood,
meeting with them?
that's correct.
Well, I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to.
because they just got out of a firehouse that flooded,
No,
so they
no,
don't
yeah,
want to
we'll
flood.
stay out of the floodplain. So
Yeah.
I'll have the floodplain map with me. We'll be able to draw some things up, look
Yeah.
at some scenarios, have a footprint, and match it up. It'll just be easier to do in person. You guys have already approved those pay applications under the bookkeeper's report, so there's really nothing I need a formal approval on. Just overall approval of my report.
Okay.
Unless you guys got any questions.
I make a motion, we accept the engineer's report.
I have a second.
Second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, communication with consultants and contractors regarding ongoing projects. Okay, I asked Davis to add this to the agenda. So apparently, some people are contacting either MOC or contractors or other people that are working on these projects and I'm gonna say making suggestions And that's not our job. That's, Taylor's in charge of the projects, okay? And I don't wanna, I know I'm gonna say this wrong because it's gonna come out wrong, but, it's not like I have to be in charge, but I think at one meeting we voted that all communication with the engineers and the projects and the operators were going through me unless it was just a question you had or something like that. So, when it costs, let me put it this way, it costs us money. Every time somebody stops a project, it costs us money. Every time somebody has to go back and redo a project that they already did, it costs us money.
Has that
Okay.
happened?
Yes,
That has happened with
That
one of
has
us
happened.
stopping a
yes,
project?
yes. And other things have happened. So it's money out of our pocket. And it's not money out of our pocket, it's money out of the taxpayer's pocket. Okay? So I'm gonna ask that I not get another call like that. Ever.
Okay, I think we need a little bit more information, I don't know.
Do you have an example?
I have several examples, but,
Well, once we know what you're talking about, we really can't say, because I have talked to, like, if I see Mario out and he's working on
I'm not
something,
worried
I'll
about
come out
that.
here. Or if I call and there's a leak down here and I
I
call
don't care
Mario.
about that.
But I'm not, as far as you're saying
Based upon
regarding
what's
ongoing projects, I don't think that.
These guys that are out here that Taylor has on jobs, okay? When somebody says they can't do this, and they communicate that the contractor can't do this, that's not our decision to make. That's Taylor's, okay? And second of all, when somebody's, okay, I'll give you an, do we really wanna do this?
Yeah, I wanna
I
know.
think so.
Okay.
Let's open it up.
Okay, I'll be blunt. All right, I've got two examples. Let's go back to Natchez. There was a trench dug. That trench was no more than 3 inches wide. I had to struggle to get my foot in it. It was dug on a Wednesday. It was filled back in on a Friday. It was redug on a Monday. Who paid for that?
Don't have any idea what we're talking about.
I'm telling you, I just gave you an example. On Natchez, when the Natchez project was ongoing,
Somebody told them to fill it in,
somebody told them to fill it in.
here,
Yep,
one of the board.
one of the board. Okay? I'll
I
give
did.
you another example. Okay? The guys working up here on the golf course, well, not at golf course, Charleston, on the drainage. Okay? And Taylor and I got an email saying it wasn't right that they could drive on on Charleston, but yet we just got done fining someone for driving on Charleston. Two totally different scenarios.
Right.
One has nothing to do with the other.
But that wasn't stopping an ongoing project. Where would there have been money? Was there money involved? I mean, did that cause them to stop doing something?
I don't know. I know they had to then continue walking down to the red building until we stopped, until I contacted and said, no, you
Okay,
tell
but
the contractor they're not going
in
to.
my mind, I mean, I'm not sure what everybody else is. I'm new here, so I'm the newest one on the board. But if we walk up and, for instance, the guys are parking on Charleston, we say, hey, y'all not supposed to be parking on Charleston. I'm not stopping a project. I'm not asking something.
Well,
That's
you
a
are if
comment.
they're having to stop work and they're having to move their cars.
Well, I mean, should they have parked there anyway? Or, I mean, I'm not the one who's saying this. I'm just asking a question. If we go up and talk, I would probably call Taylor, but then I don't know if you want us to call Taylor.
Well, I don't care if you call Taylor, but the thing is as you do these projects, things are gonna happen. They're going to put them back in the shape they were in, okay? If we're going to constrict what they are allowed to do, we're gonna pay for it. Because Carl, you own your own business. If I tell you, well, you can only do this way, you gonna charge me more, or are you gonna say, okay? telling you, that's the way I run my business too. I run my business a certain way. You wanna tell me how to run my business? You wanna tell me how to do my job? Great. I'm gonna charge you more, cause now I'm gonna have to do it the way you want it done.
Well, in this example, I don't think anybody was telling them how to do their job.
No.
I was thinking that these guys are parking, if you don't tell people where they can park, they're gonna park all over the place, just like the guys that are parking now over there in front of the CI building, and I see the guys working on the cars and everything over there. It's not bad business, because that's not part of the thing, I don't say anything about that. But I'm thinking, if somebody doesn't instruct the guys, okay, well, you're working on an area, and we're gonna replace this area right here. This is where the pipes are going, and this is River Plantation Drive here, and there's a guy parking over here under these trees because there's shade trees over here. We weren't even getting close to those trees, so now we're gonna have to go around and do extra work to fix that area where those were parking.
No, the heavy
See that they're
equipment
parking
was
here.
around those trees.
No.
If I can add, I mean, I will say, just because I got a couple of phone calls about this item with I think, good questions. You know, I know that everybody is sensitive to the Open Meetings Act, as you should be, and so it makes it difficult to have any discussion about, you know, any of these items that come up. You know, my suggestion is maybe if anyone has a concern that they think should be addressed on the project, that's not, obviously, if there's a health and safety concern or a major, you know, issue, absolutely, you know, you see a water leak or something like that, absolutely call it, see. But if there's more of a philosophical, you know, how should we manage this project type question, maybe, you know, those are items that can be brought up at the board meeting that everyone could discuss. I know that it's clear to me that there are different perspectives on different items, sometimes in between meetings, and it's just, as consultants, and I may be, you know, speaking for Taylor and Mario a little bit, I think it's difficult when one board member has one opinion on something and another board member has a different opinion. How do you decide, you know, choosing between board members, whereas if it's discussed at a meeting, then I think a collective decision can be made, and you can give more clear direction to, you know, to the manager of that project, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, but, you know, my question is, Julie just said, if I see something, I can call Taylor or I can call MOC, but, you know, in an email we received, or I received, it says everybody has to go through one person.
I don't think that's what I said,
Well,
but maybe I
That's
did.
the intent that I took it as, that we can't go to Taylor or
I think I
MOC.
said unless you had other than questions, if I go back and read the email, I think it said other than questions and things like that. So,
You know, I'd just like to know if
hold it, you
we.
got the email, Carl?
You know, I do.
Well, as board members, when we are approached by members of the public that bring up that topic, hey, so-and-so got in trouble for driving on the grass.
But they're
and now
working on it. They're not driving on it for entertainment or whatever to get somewhere. They're working on it.
Well, just 1 minute, I would interject that if we approve a project and we put contractors out there, we're authorizing them to take their vehicles on our property and do the job. But we are not authorizing them to park wherever they want. Okay?
So where are you gonna have them park for all
Well,
these
then
jobs?
Maybe we need to do this.
Are you gonna have,
Designated
we're gonna put parking lots on every street? Because if
have-
you look at the list of
Are
projects
we
they
gonna,
got.
we're trying to decide this.
Well, I don't care, I wanna.
Taylor needs to address where he wants them to park, I suppose. Okay, he can say you can park your cars over here, but don't just put them under every tree out there. Is that not fair?
I'm at y'all's discretion, I mean, you know.
No, I'm just asking.
Right, no, as your
I don't
engineer,
sure.
I mean, for most of my boards, I work as kind of the liaison between board members and the contractors.
And that's the way it
And
should.
so, it's on a perfect symbiotic relationship. You guys tell me if you guys have any discrepancies, and I do my best to relay it to the contractor, or.
But do you
I mean-
understand what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
Whenever we give them a project and say, do this, then we're authorizing them
I do.
to take
What's
their
it say?
vehicles on the property. However, we're not authorizing them to park cars under every tree out there. Just so what we maybe need to do.
So are you gonna drive them there to wherever they're working every morning?
Why don't you let me finish?
Okay.
What, maybe we need to address where they can park when we start. We could say, let's concentrate your cars over here, and that eliminates the problem, okay? And then instead of going helter-skelter.
You're monitoring these projects, right? You're out here,
Do-
so if you
will
see
that
somebody
work?
parking stupidly, you're gonna let them know.
Yeah, I mean, we do our best, and the reality is, it's not my park, it's y'all's
Right.
park, and I try my best to have y'all's best interest at heart, but my sensitivity may not be to the same scale y'all's are. And
Well, I thought we were doing good when they were parking over at plant one. Everybody seemed to be happy.
So, okay, so here's my question. If everybody's so sensitive to this, how come nobody but me has ever stopped anybody and said anything to them? Every one of the people that's been brought in here for violations, who stopped them?
I think you're making some assumptions.
I'm just asking. I'm just
I tried.
asking.
I'm answering your
I'm
question.
I'm just asking. You did.
You're
You
making
did stop the
assumptions.
one guy.
And I've
You're
never
making
seen anybody doing
assumptions.
I haven't
That
seen anybody
aren't
do it.
true.
I've
You never saw anybody up there parking.
No, I'm talking about this instance we're talking about. I mean, I'm the guilty party if there is one. I'm the one that sent Taylor the email and started the whole conversation because I felt like they were violating our
But you have
grounds.
to put it in the right context. They were working there on a job that we asked them to do.
And
We
they-
didn't ask the other guy to drive across.
True, very true.
We didn't
But
ask
there's
them to
also-
park cars under every tree.
There's also ruts where they have driven from the work site to, say, Braxton Bragg.
Correct.
So
They're
there
not
are,
done yet. That's what that pile of dirt's here for.
okay, all right.
I mean,
I'm just concerned that the pile of dirt may be there and it may have great intentions to fill up the ruts and sinkholes and whatever may be there. But there's gonna be a lot of grass that needs to be laid, there's gonna be a lot of follow-up work.
so I'll say
We're not
this.
gonna put sod down on Charleston.
I'll say this for your concern. So I'm gonna use two examples. One example was the guy who illegally went on y'all's property and cut down those trees. Remember how he kind of pretty much made a road because he traveled it so many times.
Right.
He has no financial obligation already tied to you guys to fix all of that, right? You had to go out, you had to fine him, you had to use your legal authority to fine him. As far as the contractor concern goes, you hold all of the power and all of the money. So if something is not to your liking, don't sign that pay application or say, Taylor, hold this until they do this, this, and this. And you can be very specific as to what you want them to do, whether it not be hydro, whether it's not, you want them to lay sod every inch of it. I'm not saying
We're
that's.
not, I'm not paying for
understand
sod.
that.
I'm not saying
I
that's
understand
practical. I'm not saying that's practical, and I understand what you're saying is they cannot be parking 17 miles down the road under a tree when they're doing work right here. They should be parking around the job site, and there should be some general care
Agreed.
taken with that. But I do want you to know that you hold all of the authority in terms of what that restoration looks like.
Okay, but until we bring it to your attention, like if Tim brought it to yours attention, I don't know, he brought it to his attention, but until they bring it to your attention, how do you know that we're gonna hold that check until they fix that over there?
Well,
which
I
they
think,
shouldn't have?
I think what the scenario there was a question was proposed as to what was going on and why we were allowing, and I'm trying to paint a picture as to the scenarios in which you allow somebody to use, and we'll say abuse your park, because guess what? You hold $700,000 of their pending cash, in which
Right.
they had every, reality that they had to fix, or you have that cash in hand to go pay for it, so it's no loss to you. On top of that, we continue to keep 10% retainage until you guys are completely satisfied with the project.
Okay. So if one of us brings something to you, do you then have to go to Julie to get her approval to do it, or
No,
is it okay?
No.
Yeah.
I think more so, and I don't mean to put words in Julia's mouth, is if something like, if you guys are trying to get something done specifically with a contractor, she's saying, go to Taylor, let him be the liaison, versus trying to tell a contractor to stop what they're doing. Unless it's just something super dangerous, and you guys.
I haven't said anything to you
Yeah,
at all.
yeah, yeah. No,
I'm
but-
just wondering for my future
quick
reference,
text message,
if I see
yeah.
something, I'll say it to you.
Yeah,
Because
quick-
most of those guys don't speak English anyway.
Sure, a quick
Right.
text.
So it's,
yeah.
you know, it's
I mean,
good that we come
the
to
way
you,
I
but
operate
if we
with-
come to you, do you have to go to Julie and say
No.
what Betty said, or?
No.
No.
Because we all have some authority,
You-
right, as a board.
Yeah, you all
Right.
have
Basically,
Right.
every director
But-
has the same authority.
That's correct, but you voted at a meeting a couple of months ago that I was the liaison, I will tell you
That's not a
that.
problem, okay?
Okay.
Let's talk
So-
to your memo. I totally agree.
Okay, so what does my memo
Would you-
say?
Would you let me finish? I totally agree with your comment that, how did she put that? That there's no unilateral decisions being made by any director in the field. That includes you.
That's
As well
correct.
as him and her
That's
and me. Any major decisions have to come from this board, not from any single director.
Except in the
Including-
case of an emergency.
And putting up a fence on the side of this building is not an emergency.
I didn't make that decision unilaterally, we
Yes,
voted
you
on
did.
it.
You put it over there, nobody voted on it.
We did, and it was because the guy and his kids, yes, we did, we voted it at a meeting, because the guy and his kids were walking around here,
I don't
and there were
remember it.
several people, we
I remember
did.
when the guy cost.
I don't remember ever voting on
I
it.
don't know that we voted.
But
on
anyway,
it,
that's not my point. That's not an emergency. So
You
we
know
just
what,
need,
we can end this.
we're not needing to, end. I'm just trying to clarify it for you. I agree with what you had said. I just said everybody has the same thing. And we did give you the authority to act in an emergency. Maybe we need to define
Define
an
emergency, okay,
That's all we need.
okay.
I'm happy with the whole thing. You want to be the point of
No,
contact?
somebody else
and
can
I
be
think
the
that's
point of
fine.
contact.
Huh?
Somebody else can be the point of contact.
Yes,
Read
ma'am.
the email so
Here's the
that
email.
we all know what it says.
I need everyone to be aware that as president, I am the point of contact on any issues with ongoing projects and anticipated projects. Board members do not have the authority to make unilateral decisions on projects. Board members may contact you with questions, but decisions.
Contact me with questions?
You said you,
No.
I think you're talking to Paul, Taylor,
Oh,
Keith.
okay.
Board members may contact you with questions, but decisions are not to be made by any board members alone. Thank you for your help.
That includes all of us.
Right, correct.
And we all agree with that, I think. I don't think there's a problem.
Okay, so then what was the point of who brought up what I said in that email?
It just says communication, the way I took it is that we have to go to you for everything, that we can't go to Taylor.
That's
or-
not what it
It
says.
said, well, it does say, I am the point of contact
And
on
basically,
any
it directed
issue
them
with
to not
ongoing
listen to
projects
us.
and anticipated projects. I think
Okay,
that's-
so who
that's
wants to be the
problem.
point of contact? Because I quit. I'm not gonna be the point of contact anymore, so who's gonna be the point of contact? Who wants to be the point of
I
contact?
think the point of contact are the managers that we hire.
So who on the board is going to, when something happens, are we gonna have an emergency meeting? Every Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, when something happens?
Depends on what you mean, what happens. Is it an emergency, or is it just a question or an issue that somebody sees? If it's something somebody sees, like somebody's parking
Correct.
in an inappropriate spot, then that person just contacts Taylor.
Okay.
That's
And if
no
I can
point of
contact
contact
Taylor,
for that.
and
You
you
can
don't have to
contact
contact
Taylor. You don't, that does not
Well,
say you contact me.
I think the way you worded it, someone could think that we weren't allowed to talk to Taylor and.
It says board members do not have the authority to make unilateral decisions on projects. Well, I'm thinking if we make a comment, that's not a decision.
That's not a decision.
That's just a comment.
Well,
And that's okay.
it also went
But I
out to
wanted to
direct
clarify
them, basically, not to,
That's not what it says.
but that's what it
It was,
sounded
it was a
like.
very aggressive
It says
email that I
any
think could be
issues, that's-
easily
that's-
Okay.
misinterpreted.
All right,
And there
let's
are-
vote
there
on who
are-
wants to be the
there-
point of
There are
contact.
issues.
Because I do
that-
not want to be the point of contact anymore. So who wants to be the point of contact?
I'll be the point of contact.
Okay, go ahead. Carl is now everyone's point of contact.
For projects.
No, you can be point of contact for everything.
You didn't ask for that.
I didn't say that.
Okay,
He said he'll be point of contact for all projects. And that's
Right.
fine if that's what he
Okay.
wants to do.
all right. On to the next, are we good with this?
I'm
Can we beat that horse? Okay. Resolution authorizing opt-out and/or filing a request for exclusion from the nationwide class settlements related to PFAS.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's a Davis.
It is. PFAS are forever chemicals, and there are two nationwide class action settlements, one with 3M and one with DuPont. And I will tell you, I put this on the agenda. We have gotten the notices for our clients that were included in the class in the last 30 days, and I thought it was very possible that you would be included in the class, but we did not receive a notice for River Plantation, and you are not listed in the settlement. I will tell you that I do not, all of our clients that are, all of my clients have elected to opt out of the settlement to date, and I will tell you that that is primarily because the settlement puts you in a position where you have to go ahead and make a claim now for the entirety of your damages, assuming you know what they are. And there is very little testing that has been done on public water systems in the greater Houston area for PFAS. I will tell you that the primary concern, as I understand it, is with surface water and not with well water. River Plantation obviously being on well water. But there are some areas of contamination specifically related to industrial facilities and firefighting training areas and firefighting foam. So what I don't know that we would ever even use it, but it is on the agenda, and I do have the resolution if you would like to go ahead and adopt the resolution for the district's records in the event that we are notified in the near future that the district is included in the class, that we would then go ahead and get the remaining documents executed to opt out of the settlement. We have consulted with some litigators who handle this work on a national basis, and they have advised us that at this point the only claim that a district might be able to make would be for some testing costs, up to $1,500. And I can tell you that if you were to have an issue with your water quality, that the cost would be much greater. So,
Do we need to do these tests? Is it required?
you will be required to do the tests. The EPA has not yet adopted a rule, and so there are not yet limits in place, but we expect that rule to be adopted here soon. And then it will have a 3-year implementation period subject to a handful of provisions that could delay that implementation. So our clients, for the most part, are starting to have conversations about testing for PFAS, and I think it would be perfectly reasonable for you to go ahead and ask MOC to have that testing performed. Again, you will need to have the testing performed in advance of the rule implementation, obviously, to be able to confirm that whether or not you meet the criteria. But again, these are tests that are done in parts per trillion. There are 6 chemicals, I believe, and there is all of a sudden a lot of interest in testing, and so some of the testing does take a little time, but I think it would be a good idea to start having those conversations with MOC. Mario, do you have anything you want to add on the testing, or Taylor?
No, but I can sure get with Keith on this and see also with our compliance team, and just make sure that I'm pretty sure other districts are going to this is going to come up as well.
If we do testing now, is it too soon? In other words, are they going to say, no, you did it before we approved anything, so you got to do it again? Or is it once enough?
I don't, based on what I've seen, if you were to do 1 or 2 tests now, I don't think it would exempt you from the testing that you will need to do 2 years from now. But as much of a topic of conversation as it has been, and as much as it has been in the news, and I understand that the testing is relatively inexpensive, maybe a few $100s. It might be money well spent for peace of mind and to be able to respond to any customers that might have those questions. So, but it's entirely up to the board.
You said a few $100s, or I thought it was you said $1,000.
You said 1,500, and then it's a few hundred.
1,500 is the claim that we expect you would be able to make in the settlement were you included.
Oh.
For the reimbursement of those expenses.
Okay.
Mario would need to give you pricing from his testing provider, but as I understand it, that testing cost is generally, certainly less than $1,000, a couple $100, something like that.
Okay.
So it sounds like it's just taking a bottle of water and sending it off to a lab for a test, and they give you the results.
Exactly right, and candidly, exactly as you do now. You test your water is tested regularly. The bulk of the testing, other than chlorine residuals, that is done is actually done by third parties. But this would be just a proactive step for the district to take, should you choose to do so. And it may be that you want to get Mario to look into it and bring you some information next month. So
it sounds like the only advantage of doing it now is that we can prepare if there are some PFAS, whatever you call these, in our water.
That's right. You could go ahead and start that conversation. As I said, we have an idea of what the limits will be, but won't know for sure until the rule is adopted. We were talking about 3, 4, 5, 6 parts per trillion, depending on the chemical. Implementation is 3 years away. So I don't want to tell you that nothing is going to change, but I would expect that you would be obligated to have testing performed over a defined period as prescribed by the TCQ at some point. But I think it is likely that it will be some time before we get real direction from the TCQ, if that makes sense.
And TCQ is going to be the enforcing agency of this?
TCQ is the regulatory body.
It's not a federal thing, right?
So the EPA, for the most part, the EPA permits the state, and the state then permits the district, if that makes sense, through the TCQ.
It's the inception of government.
So, and you said that this is a class settlement. Has the settlement been settled, or no legal term, or are we still waiting to hear?
The terms of the settlement are known, and that is what we have reviewed with the firm who has handled this work for a number of states and municipalities around the country. And the window to opt out is actually here in a couple of weeks. And so we got notice of these settlements in kind of over the last 30 days. And there's a very small window to make a decision on whether or not to opt out. And if you don't opt out, you're automatically included as a member of the class. And I won't get too far into the weeds, Carl, but I will tell you that a lot of this is based off of water system data, population data that the EPA maintains. And I would have expected Plantation to have fallen into the class because of the size of the system, but you were not listed. And I can tell you that that is not, that's not something that's,
Why would we opt
wholly
out?
unusual.
Why would we opt out? It seems like we would be losing an opportunity to have money come into the district if we opted out.
So if you,
$1,500.
That's right. That's the claim that we expect you would be able to make. And if a district did have a PFAS issue, we would expect that you would be required to make some upgrades of significance at your water plants, filtration systems that would be capable of removing these obviously very, very small particles, right? Again, 3, 4, 5 parts per trillion. And the other thing I'll say is that this settlement doesn't address wastewater, which we think is very possibly a long-term concern as well. So
if I'm understanding, you're saying that we only get a few thousand as the most that we can expect to get if we do have these things in there, even though it may cost us a lot more to get the PFAS out?
that is right. We do not think it is a good deal for the district, and have consulted with, again, other experts in this litigation who very much agree.
So
again, River Plantation was, I just want to be 100% clear, River Plantation was not named in either one of these suits. So there is no action that you need to take. It is on the agenda so that you could take action had we received notice or had you been named, but you were not.
and if we do end up finding the PFAS in our water, and we choose to opt out, then we can go after the whoever put the PFAS in the water system to collect, to sue them.
That's exactly right. And I would be surprised if there is not. I mean, we all expect that there will continue to be a lot of litigation over this matter. If you remain a member of the class, you are limited to the terms of the settlement and release 3M and DuPont of all claims in exchange for that compensation.
For $1,500.
Right.
Sounds like a no-brainer.
Right.
Right.
So,
Is this something we
but
need to
just to
vote
be
on?
abundantly clear,
We need to vote on the resolution.
I don't think it's a bad thing to have in the file, in the event that we did receive notice, Betty, because again, I think that the district, it seems like us, per the terms of the settlement, that the district would have been included in the class just based on the size of your system, but again, you were not. So if we receive notice, we'll probably have a small window in which to respond, and I think it'd be good to have this approval so we can go ahead and get everything executed, if that makes sense.
So, one more question. You're saying we can make a motion to exclude us from this, even though we're not in it? You said we're not named in it.
That's, what I'm saying is you could adopt the resolution so that in the event we do receive notice that you are named, that we can then take the steps to exclude you. But I will also tell you that you do not need to vote on this today. We can absolutely table this and we'll bring it back to you in the event that we receive notice of any PFAS litigation. It is only on the agenda, again, because I expected the district to receive notice.
But we have not.
That's correct.
Okay. I won't be excluded. I would like to wait until we hear, just in case it's
the settlement's already been done. The
I think we
settlement's,
should-
the terms of the settlement are $1,500. It's not gonna change.
I think we should go ahead and
So,
approve it.
so if we vote to exclude, this is just for this particular settlement, not another one that might come up.
Just for 3M and DuPont, that's right. The settlements that we have reviewed and consulted with the firm that specializes in this work on.
Okay, so,
Well, I make a motion that we exclude ourselves and opt out of the settlement.
Do I have a
a
second?
second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm confused, but I'll say aye.
Thanks.
You guys know.
So were you and I?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, she said.
Okay, all right. So, going back to, do we need to take a vote authorizing or approving Carl be the point of contact for all the ongoing projects? Or all the, I shouldn't say ongoing and future projects? So that the board votes that we agree on that?
I would suggest that you as president could say that, or, you know, I don't know that it has to be a resolution, does it?
Well, I'm not saying.
I mean, it's like a committee thing, really.
Well, y'all had to vote to make me the point of contact.
No, we have voted for emergencies for
No,
you,
it's-
you and
okay.
Tim. I
Okay.
thought we had two of you, but I'll do
Okay,
whatever
let's
you
make a
want. I'm
motion.
not trying to
Okay.
be difficult.
We'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'm just trying to.
all right. Somebody make a motion. If you want to.
I'll make a motion that we adopt Carl as the communication liaison for future projects,
For all projects.
for all projects.
On current and ongoing.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, do we have a reason for executive session?
No, ma'am.
All right,
So,
any pending business? No? Okay.
Oh, I forgot one thing. I think this is for you, Taylor. On the golf course, I don't know if you know where this is, and between number 13 and number 14, there's a restroom right there. There was some work done there.
At the end of RP Drive?
Give me a road.
It's not near a road, it's back.
Oh,
It's
Brandon.
almost to
Brandon.
almost to the river.
Gotcha,
Oh,
okay, yeah,
yeah,
okay.
Brandon.
Right by the restroom there.
Okay.
There, in the water is, the dirt has been graded,
Uh-huh.
but it's pooling.
Okay,
So
I
it's-
think we
it's
brought
a
up that
mosquito
before,
issue.
because
yeah.
The
we'll
last
take a look.
Yeah.
That was where you had to clean out that drain.
Yes.
Yeah.
but if it was cleaned out, it should have been,
This is, I
It's
mean,
because-
I know
there
we got that.
used to be a hole there, they fixed the drain, and
Yeah,
now
it's
it's
settled.
graded nicely, looks like it should
But
drain,
it's got a dip.
but it's not draining, so there's a puddle there all the
That's what we brought
time.
up.
Just bucket
Just,
it,
uh,
Yeah.
I'll double check on it Monday, just so I clarify everything and we'll.
Great.
Okay.
But just so you know, it's right near the restroom,
Yep.
that restroom back there.
It won't be here very long.
Not that restroom.
Oh,
This is
no,
on the golf, this is
no,
on the
about
golf
the one down
course.
here.
One Brandon. All right, we good?
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting?
Our next
Second.
meeting is December 18th.
20th,
December
December 20th,
20th?
isn't it?
I have Monday the 18th.
Oh, I
Is
don't
it
have my
which
phone.
one is it?
It's Monday,
It's
whatever.
the 18th.
It's the 18th?
Monday the 18th.
Yeah, Monday the
Okay. All right, Monday the 18th then at 6:30 PM.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Mario, if you
Yep,
send me
that's
the,
right.
company for the signs,
I thought I did.
oh, okay.
Let's have a different number for
Let me see.
All right.
I
All
got it.
right,
I got it.
y'all have a good Thanksgiving.